What is going on, everybody? Enzo here, and today I have the next set of quiz videos for you. I have now started producing shorts, so if you see on the shorts tab of this channel, you'll see a bunch of topics that have been covered. Well, not a bunch, but a few topics already been covered, as well as my TikTok page set up. So if you guys want to go follow my TikTok, I'll have all of those shorts posted there and re-uploaded here on YouTube. As you can see, I know most of you guys follow me on YouTube, so that's totally fine if you see it here. Although not every video I upload on TikTok will be on here, so you guys might want to see a couple of those exclusives over there. And other than that, we have a quiz video. So this one is going to be all about the enemy's leader, and it is based on Final Fantasy XII. So it's likely going to be based on Vayne. So I've already done a lore video on Vayne. I've also done a shorts on Vayne and a TikTok lore video on him. So if you're going to go check that out, you can go ahead and click on those tabs and links. And other than that, let's get started. So after Rabanastre was captured, one man was sent there to be consul governor. It is revealed to be the main antagonist. Who is he? It is, of course, Vayne Solidor. Cid is still a very strong antagonist, despite him not being like the final boss or the main boss. But like Cid's role in the story is still pretty strong, and I kind of want to do a lore video on him at some point. Though Vayne has the best intentions with the people of Rabanastre, most still do not tolerate him. The ones that do accept him, however, keep attempting to give him respect through his title, but are often laughed at in return. Why is this? That's a very specific question. The democratic nature of the Empire makes him no more than any others. It's the best way to irritate his father by throwing away his status and act like citizens. He tries to gain the trust of the Rabanastrians by acting like he's one of them. All he does is ramble about peace and common people, but doesn't understand what he's saying. So I guess this is more referring to like the Miguelo's an example, right? Miguelo is someone who is trying to accept Vayne as consul, even though he knows that he's probably gonna get arrested or jailed if he doesn't. This one's an interesting question, actually. I'm kind of in between two. It's either because the democratic nature of the Empire makes him no more than any others, or he tries to gain the trust of the Rabanastrians by acting. The thing is, the Empire isn't really that democratic. Now, I get, like, it's run by one royal family, but, like, whoever gets selected is still based on the endorsement of the council, which is a topic that's not actually covered much in Final Fantasy XII, but it is an element of how an emperor is selected. But at the same time, trying to gain the trust of Rabanastrians by acting like he's one of them doesn't sound right, because he kind of did a good job of doing that during his speech, right? All these answers are kind of bizarre, so I'm actually not sure. I'm gonna go with the first one. Does Vayne really care about the people and his family? Okay, this is a tough one because it depends on how you look at it. This is a very vague question. I don't like this question. It's very vague. Here's the thing, right? Vayne is known to have a soft spot for Larsa, but Vayne is willing to kill both his older siblings and his own dad just to get and frame the council to claim the throne, right? And when he creates the Sky Fortress Bahamut, he purposely puts it on top of Rabanastre so that if it were to fall, it would take Rabanastre with it. It's hard because Vayne just wants to be the dynasty king. I'm gonna go with no, because he also mentions that his family. I mean, yes for Larsa, but not for the rest of his family. So I'm gonna go with no. So this is tough. This is a very vague question. Why does Vayne wish to kill the royal families of Dalmasca and Nabradia so badly? To ensure no other royal family members would take over the crown in order to get their deified Nethicite, because they have more meaning than he does. They could pose a threat by inspiring rebellions. Well, okay, let's see. The Empire is trying to kind of absorb those kingdoms in their incoming war with Rosaria at the time, their impending war with Rosaria. The answer looks like they could pose a threat by inspiring rebellions, because that is what Prince Rassler did in the beginning of the game, so Vayne had to go squash it. Should the resistance choose to surrender to Vayne, would he accept it? Oh, that's a tough one too. Okay, well, if we're gonna go based off what happened with King Raminas, Vayne kind of killed. Okay, he got Gabranth to kill the king, and framed Bosch for it. But it's like they did surrender. Oh, but the resistance specifically, not like the kingdoms and stuff. So the people who directly oppose him, I feel like he would. But this is another interesting question, and it's kind of strange. I'm gonna go with yes. Why does Vayne kill his own father? To avenge all the fallen warriors of the Bright. That's definitely not correct. His father did not cooperate with his plans because of a childhood hatred, to be able to blame the Senate. Okay, so Vayne is trying to get next in line to the throne, right? And obviously his dad's in the way, and the council is endorsing Larsa as the next emperor. So Vayne would have been overlooked if it was up to the Senate. The thing is, killing his own father wouldn't really be a reason to kill the Senate, or to blame the Senate. But at the same time, looking at all the other options, I feel like it's the most viable option, so I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with being able to blame the Senate. What is Vayne's ultimate goal to achieve? To put history in the hands of man, to be the richest man in the world, to control the biggest empire Evilist has ever seen. He has no... Okay, here's the thing. Putting history back in the hands of man almost kind of goes hand in hand with controlling the biggest empire Evilist has ever seen. So I feel like both these answers could be correct. But going with the canon answer, I think we would go with putting history back in the hands of man. An outcast Ocuria helps Vayne throughout his noble mission. The name of the Ocuria is Vana, V-N-A-T. We did a lore video on it, so if you want to go check that out, be sure to go check out the YouTube channel. I'll send a link on the description below if you want to check out the video on. Oh no, I didn't do it on Vana specifically. I did it on the Ocuria, but I did cover a video on if Vana was evil. So that goes more into depth on Vana itself. When Vayne was confronted by the team, he used Nethicite to change into a different form. It was called Vayne Novice. I just covered this in the Vayne TikTok short video, so if you guys want to go check that out, it's all there. I did mention Vayne Novice, so... When Vayne Novice is defeated, he feels as if he had failed Vana's goal, yet Vana assures him his goals are already fulfilled. When exactly were they fulfilled? When Ash destroyed the Strunchrist, when he successfully used the Nethicite to change into Vayne Novice, when he had accomplished conquering Dalmasca and Nebradia, and when he accepted Vana and chose to help him in this noble goal. Well, I mean, their goal was to put reins in the history in the hands of man, right? It is interesting because even though the party and the Empire were at war with each other, they both were kind of going for the same goal, which is to prevent the Ocuria from controlling who becomes like the next Dynast king and preventing them from controlling the timeline. So in a way, this was already kind of achieved indirectly through Ash when she destroyed the Suncrist. So let's check our answers and see how we did. So after Vayne Solidor, yep, so that's correct. Number 2, okay, this is any citizen could become the next empire. Vayne is aware of this and acts to it. I mean, I suppose so. Yeah, I guess it really all just comes down to who the Senate endorses, right? Does Vayne really care about the people in his family? He does? See, now this is where it's weird. The only reason he is so ruthless to others is because he needs to achieve his goals, no matter what sacrifices have to be made. After all, in his eyes, in the end justifies all means to reach it. Doesn't that mean he doesn't care then? I feel like this is wrong. Why does Vayne wish to kill the royal families of Nebradia and Dalmasca so badly? The royal families are descendants of the Dynast king. They were given day-affected Nethicite as proof. Oh, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, now that I think about it, that does make sense because it was broken since the days of King Wraithwall, and Dr. Sid needed it for his research for manufactured Nethicite. Okay, so yeah, this is correct. Would the resistance choose to surrender? Would he accept it? I thought yes, he would accept it, but the correct answer was no. See, the thing is, here's the thing, right? Vayne's not a brute, you know? He's not directly a brute. So while I honestly still think he would accept it to save face, he would find a way to have them executed because that's how Vayne is. Like, that's who he is as a person. So I don't necessarily believe with this answer, but I suppose so. But he's not a brute. Like, I don't think he would be told to kill them, right? Vayne's the kind of person where he will show a front that is seemingly friendly to the people. Behind the scenes, he's like ruthless, politically ruthless. He's not actually one to take up arms himself. Why does Vayne kill his own father? To blame the Senate? Yeah, because they're the ones that endorse the next emperor, so getting them out of the way would help him a lot. Vayne's ultimate goal to achieve, yeah, that's the canon answer. That makes sense because he was influenced by Vana. It's Vana, and then Vayne Novice, and when Ash. Okay, so that's pretty good. We scored 7 out of 10. The average score was 6, so we did 1 better. A couple questions I didn't quite agree with, but yeah, so let me know how you guys did in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys have any other questions you guys want me to check out, and of course, tune in tomorrow to see the lore video on Sin. Well, not specifically on Sin itself, but a part of Sin. It'll make sense when you see it. Anyway, other than that, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and this is Enzo signing out. I'll see you all in the next one.